Hi everyone, Magnus here, and today I'm going to be getting this little guy, this AI, to estimate my chess rating. Now, from what I know, this AI gives an estimate in terms of FIDE rating and also Lichess online rating. Now, my FIDE rating is about 1900, although I am relatively inactive in terms of tournament play, and I don't actually have a Lichess account, but I do have a chess.com account which goes between 23 to 2400 in terms of online rating. Now, if I were to convert that to Lichess, I'd imagine that's around 4000 ELO, but I'm not really sure. And so yeah, I did get some inspiration for making this video from the YouTube channel Hanging Pawns, which I saw make a video on this little AI bot here. So I will leave a link to their channel in the description. Okay, let's see. The little AI bot introduces itself, and let's get started. I'm going to play pawn to e4. It goes e5. I'm going to bring out my bishop. This is called bishop's opening. Knight c6, I go knight c3. And the idea of this opening is that you want to play pawn to f4 and try and undermine their center. Let's develop the knight. So they've got their pieces out. I've got my pieces out. This is a theoretical move going after their bishop here. You're meant to take, I believe. I think that's correct. Wait, let me just try and remember for a second. Yeah, you're meant to take their bishop, pretty sure. And then it looks like taking the pawn looks correct to me, because there is this sacrifice of bishop takes f7, king takes, and then knight e5, and then the king moves and you take the bishop, but then after they take back with the knight, you take with the queen, they'll take on c2 with their knight. I'm really sorry for that arrows, they're all over the place, but this website seems to have absolutely terrible arrow movement. I genuinely have no clue what it's trying to do. I just tried to play knight f3, as you can see with my cursor, and it's drawn an arrow from f7 to f3. So I really have no clue what's going on in terms of that. Maybe pawn c3 is actually the move now that I think about it, because pawn c3 makes a lot of sense. Idea is that if they take my knight, I'm going to take with the pawn, and then after they move their bishop, I can take this pawn. These arrows, man. I can take this pawn on e5, which looks quite good. So let's play c3. Bit of a think there, but I do think c3 is the right move. Their knight is hanging, and I'm going to take on e5. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Maybe taking on e5 was best then? I'm not really sure. I seem to remember there being something wrong with taking that pawn on e5. Maybe it's knight to d7. Because if I remember correctly, if I take on e5, they go knight d7. And then after I play c3, which is the best move, these arrows, they'll take on f3. And after I take that with my pawn, they have this check with queen h4 on my king. And then I have to move my king to f1, which doesn't look very good. So I do think this is still the best line. The question is, I'm trying to remember, I think f5 is the best move. F5 looks right. I'm going to play it. Pawn to f5, locking the position down. And if they try and play something like a6 to attack my bishop, I'll just play pawn to a4. So they go queen e7. Bishop to e3 looks pretty natural. But also I could short castle. Queen e2 looks good. Maybe queen b3 also looks good. Attacking the pawn on b7. A lot of good looking options. Okay, I think I'm actually just going to play rook g1. Now, I'm not actually sure that it's necessary for my king to castle in this position. Now, that does look like a pretty free pawn, and a nice one at that, because I'm going after f7 as well. I'm not really sure what the bot's idea is. Now, knight h5 looks good to try and play queen h4, but I would have thought that that does run directly into bishop g5, from which I can then capture this f-pawn. So maybe it missed this little Zwischenzug, the in-between move, because there is no f6, because the pawn is pinned, and I'm going to collect this pawn with my rook on the next move. Okay, I think that might be another blunder. Can I take here? Here. Okay, it looks like the rook's hanging as well. Some pretty crazy stuff going on. Do I just emerge up 2 pawns, maybe? Or maybe I just take here, keep it simple. Say their rook's still hanging. And then if they play rook d6... Yeah, I guess they have rook d6. Sorry, I was just calculating there for a second. At the end of my line, it looks like there's queen to g1. So I was looking at bishop takes f7. The queen moves over to f8. I take the knight, and then they take my rook, and then my bishop here takes their rook, but then their queen will check me in the back, and that doesn't look very good. So, but maybe actually I have something that I missed, is there might be this check, and after the queen moves to f8, I can deliver this check on e6, and then after the king moves, I might have rook f7 attacking the queen, forcing the queen to move, and then taking the rook over there, which actually looks good. So I'm going to go for this. Let's go for the tactics. Get this check. Now go to f7, and looks like I'm going to win a rook. Take the rook. Oh dear. Is my rook trapped? Do I have queen b3 maybe? And then if they take my rook, then I'll win their knight. The bot is pulling out all the stops to try and come back. It's getting nasty. Okay, if I go rook g7, it will check me, and then I can play king f2. That doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to play it. It can have my d3 pawn. That pawn's not super important. The bot has gone into a deep think. I feel like I can probably just castle. Just dump the pawns. Okay. Maybe I'll play d4. Takes. I mean, yeah, they're taking on f3. Okay, let's bring the queen back for some defense. I could also play rook g3. I like the look of rook g3. Covering up the position. And now queen c2. So now it looks like I've consolidated everything. I don't see the threat there because their queen, their knight is pinned to the queen. So I should just be able to move my king. They cannot take my rook. We're going to get an exchange. And I guess I can push. Yeah, I can push the pawn because their knight's still pinned. There's actually not a good way for them to unpin, which is pretty ugly. Because anyway, if they move the queen away, then their knight is free. So what I'm thinking is I might just move my a pawn, move my king out of the way or something, and then I can play rook d2. That could be interesting. I also might just go back and defend. But then we'll go queen f6. I can take the pawn. No, I quite like the setup that I have, preventing their knight from moving. It's rather nice. Okay, I'm going to play a4 and king a2 so that I can move out. Actually, no, king a2 would blunder. No, it wouldn't. Okay, it doesn't blunder anything. I'm fine. Knight c3. I have queen c3. Okay, let's bring up the rook, and now I'm winning the knight by force. Let's take. I'm gonna take. Let's activate the rooks. Check. And their pawn structure is completely shattered. Some of the worst pawns I've seen in a while. Alright, let's get the two rooks in the back, ready to do some damage. Threatening checkmate in 3 moves. Check, check, and checkmate. Good game. For some reason, this AI thinks that I am a grandmaster in FIDE with a Lichess rating of 2790. Now I can believe the Lichess rating, but maybe not the FIDE rating. So looks like this AI might have a little bit of work to do. I'm definitely not even close to GM in strength in terms of FIDE, but I guess maybe this was just a good game and I thought it was played well. So either way, if you guys did enjoy this video and want to try it out yourself, do give it a go. Let me know what rating it gave you and if it was accurate. I'd be interested to know if it did turn out being more accurate than my one. But either way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.